Hello again, everybody. From the Takedown studios, I'm Scott Casper along with Tony Haggard. This is Global Wrestling News. Well, the U.S. has sent 21 athletes to compete at the Paris Grand Prix, including several members of the World Clubs Cup team, and a total of 16 NCAA champs. With a preview of that event and some of the potential mega matchups, let's talk to Titan Mercury's Johnny Ruggiano.
In Paris, we have 9 wrestlers looking for the title, but the main headline is the return of 74-kilo wrestler, 4-time NCAA champion Kyle Dake. Everyone across the nation wants to find out if we'll see a head-to-head matchup between Dake and fellow Titan Mercury wrestler Alex Derringer. Also joining Titan Mercury is World Clubs Cup champions BJ Futrell, Nico Megaludis, and David Taylor, as well as several other wrestlers including Jason Welch, who's taken a long hiatus from international competition and will be back in Paris. Follow us at Titan_Mercury as we give you live updates throughout the weekend's competition, as well as several giveaways from Titan Mercury Store. Also, go to TitanMercuryStore.com as we are in the middle of a sale of singlets, as well as a ton of great gear, new gear, and future gear coming for the World Clubs Cup Championships. Till next week, Scott and Tony, back to you.
All right, Tony, let's cut right to the chase. If Dake and Derringer meet up, who you got?
Derringer pivots up a lot of points. He wrestles a lot of offense. Dake, though, he's got incredible defense, and he can capitalize on some of maybe Derringer's offense. So I think Dake is going to win this. I think he might win it big. All
right, let's talk about your boy Tony Ramos. He's been on a bit of a cold streak since the trials. Does anybody have a bigger chip on their shoulder right now than Tony Ramos?
Well, Ramos has always had a chip on his shoulder. I think this is the opportunity for him to say that, to himself and to other competitors, that he belongs on the senior circuit. If he can get through this, I think that we will see him go through this cycle.
All right, coming up next, our top 5 college matchups of the week. Stay tuned. You're watching GWN. Thanks to McBride Matt.
Right now, get any large original or flatbread pepperoni pizza for only $10. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Wow, 40 years. Time really flies. Don't seem like it's been that long. It seemed like only yesterday that I started out route delivering it to the stores. For over 40 years, we're really proud to keep the same quality ingredients and not change our recipe. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary by joining into our cookies recipe contest with a chance to win a Traeger Bronson 20 smoker. You can enter it on our Facebook page or cookiesbbq.com. Thanks for 40 years, and we'll see you in another 40 years.
Cookies is the one.
All right, it's time for our top 5 college bouts of the week, starting with number 5. The Penn State Nittany Lions travel to Wisconsin this weekend to set up a clash between up-and-coming Penn State star Vincenzo Joseph against proven commodity Isaac Jordan. Now, this is a clash of 2 different styles. Tony, do you expect a high-scoring bout here?
Yeah, I mean, Joseph is going to push the pace, but Jordan seems to always be able to slow things down. If this match goes his way, it's going to be real close. 4-1, 5-1 match. I see Jordan getting the job done, though.
All right. Well, I think if the bout takes place at Penn State, the freshman gets Jordan. I just feel like the way he wrestles, it's always from his feet. I always reward the guy looking to score points constantly, a guy that forces his opponent to make mistakes. All right, number 4 on our countdown comes at 285. 2 undefeated athletes put it on the line in the same duel. Wisconsin's number 2 ranked Connor Medbury versus Nick Nevels of Penn State. You know, I think we all assumed Nevels would be good, but did we think he'd be this good? Big wins over Kroles from Minnesota and Sam Stoll of Iowa. He's looking like a double-A contender right now.
Yeah, Nevels has impressed me. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Going into the season, I wasn't sure if he was going to be an All-American contender, but him beating Kroles, him beating Stoll seals that situation. I think he's for sure going to be a high AA here. You know, the top 3 contenders, though, you got Snyder, you got Waltz, you got Medbury. So, you know, if he can knock off, you know, this matchup here against Medbury, that will solidify him as a national title contender.
All right, Medbury, in my opinion, is fresh, healthy, and hungry, and that's not good for the rest of the weight class. Number 3 on the list features top 5 matchup. It's Micah Jordan of Ohio State. He travels to take on Brandon Sorensen of Iowa. His biggest matchup of the year for sure. Jordan is undefeated on the year with over 20 victories, and he smells blood in the water, with Sorensen taking a few losses as of late.
Yeah, I'd say Sorensen maybe smells blood himself, and that loss that the couple of losses that he's taken, taking Rutherford into overtime, I think this is going to give him a lot of confidence that knows that, you know, after getting majored by him last year, this is, you know, really solidify himself as a top contender. He knows he can get it done. He just got to push the pace. He's got to take those shots from his feet, and we did see that from Zane. So I think that Brandon's going to be in a real good spot here.
All right, Sorensen has to push the pace to beat Jordan. I think you're right there. But when he sits back on his heels, that's when I think he gets in trouble. It frustrates me because, you know, I want to get in there and take the shot for him. You didn't see that against Rutherford.
Yeah, I mean, those big matchups, sometimes he does get on his heels, not willing to take that shot, but Rutherford is a whole different ballgame. He was just willing. He's always going forward. If he can do that, he's going to get the job done.
All right, let's go next bout. Same weight, same big-time match to watch. This time, Oklahoma State goes on the road to take on Mac Powerhouse, Missouri. If Oklahoma State sends Anthony Colica out at 149, we could see another top 5 bout between him and Levon Mays. These two know each other very well. Do you think they'll protect his seed?
Well, if I was the coach, I wouldn't send him out there. He's already got 2 wins. These guys got a ton of history. They know each other very, very well. If Mace comes in and beats him, then he's not going to get that higher seed when it comes down to St. Louis. So Mays is he's really on the outskirts right now. This is a type of match that if he has the opportunity to take it, I think this will be a big win for him, big seeding going into the future.
Colica leads the Series 6-3, and with the way he's been wrestling Mays and the rest of the contenders, I'm picking Colica.
Yeah, I have to agree there. You know, again, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see this matchup, but if it happens, I'm going Colica as well.
Well, we have associate head coach of Oklahoma State coming up next. That's Eric Guerrero. We're going to have to ask him some of what we just talked about. Before that, though, when we found out Tomasello would be bumping up to 133, we had this one circled on our calendars. It was number 1, Nathan Tomasello versus Iowa's Corey Clark, going down at Carver this weekend. This one still had the anticipation with Corey being dinged up?
Yeah, I think so. Clark has shown that he can finish shots that on that shoulder that obviously is hurting him. So, you know, if he can get it done against some of the other opponents, he might have a shot against Tomasello. Tomasello has unbelievable defense, but I think with that crowd behind him, expect some fireworks at Carver.
That's our top 5 for the week. Give us your picks on social media by using the hashtag GWNTop5. Next up, Eric Guerrero, the associate head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, answers our questions. Powered by Nike Wrestling. Stay tuned.
Yellow Blue wants to show you global energy demands are expanding at an alarming rate. Power grids in the U.S. are aging while coal plants continue to close at record rates. Utility rates are at an all-time high and there's no end in sight. If this concerns you, Call Yellow Blue, delivering products and services that are not only green, but cost effective. You can be independent, safe, and secure. We'll show you how at yellowbluetech.com.
Well, the undefeated Oklahoma State Cowboys continue to roll and are preparing for a big duel against Missouri. Here to discuss the past, the present, and the future is Associate Head Coach Eric Guerrero. Eric, how are you?
Hey, Scott, what's going on? Good morning.
Are you moving to 3-0 in the Big 12 after your 31-9 rout of the then 19th ranked South Dakota State? What'd you take away from the weekend?
I thought that it was good to have a double duel weekend. We haven't had one of those in a while. Our last one would have been against OU in Pittsburgh back in December. Then things slowed down because of finals week, and things slowed down just because of that Christmas break, and you're kind of gearing up for a tournament. Everybody kind of hits a big tournament. So we haven't had one of those in a while, and our season moving forward is primarily built around those double duel weekends. So it's just kind of nice to kick that part of the season off.
Bonus points always seem to be a topic each and every year, but you guys really scored well, especially against South Dakota State. 5 bonus point victories in that win, including tech falls from Nick, your redshirt freshman, Nick Piccinini, Anthony Colica, and Nolan Boyd, who tallied his 100th career victory. Austin Schaefer, talk about Austin ending the match with an exclamation point when he pinned Mackey. How big was that?
Weren't quite sure what to expect of Austin at the beginning of the year. When he came to us, he did 1 year at the prep school at Army. And he wrestled heavyweight that year. We chose to use him at 97, and he had some victories there, but he's done much better at heavyweight. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And we weren't sure what to expect with that Mackey match, because I think that South Dakota State heavyweight's pretty good. He wrestled Austin Marsden very tough last year, and weren't quite sure what to expect. So one thing we've learned with Austin Schaefer is to expect the unexpected. So he just needs to probably keep that up.
Cade's had an up and down, but at 133, there's so much good talent at 133. First of all, how is Cade handling the upset, and what are your overall thoughts on the weight class across the board?
I don't see the ups and downs maybe as much as I think the ups and downs are good for storylines, but I guess I don't view it that way. I don't think we as a staff view it that way. I see Seth Gross as a kid, a lot of winning since he was a little leaguer. I mean, I remember going to Tulsa Nationals and seeing Seth Gross, and Fargo and seeing Seth Gross. So I don't think, the kid started his career at Iowa. I mean, the Hawkeyes recruited him for a reason, right? The kid's good. So can you lose to a good wrestler? Sure, anybody can. He's probably a little bit better than good. So you just address it as that. You address it that he's a young man that didn't get a full season last year. He only got 5 matches last year before his season-ending injury, and that's why he got the medical hardship. So when you look at it from that standpoint, he's still navigating his way through his first college season. So you just take it as a learning lesson, and you move forward, and you identify the mistakes, and you just you recognize where you're at, and then you do something about it. And known Cade a long time, since he probably started wrestling. So I probably get away with saying a little bit more to him than most coaches would be able to say to somebody.
We're talking with Eric Guerrero, the associate head coach for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. We've been watching, Coach. We've been witnessing some Cowboys that are just absolutely representing. This is definitely one of the teams for the record books. Whether you see Penn State or not prior to the national championships, you very well may in the bowl. But how do you feel you guys match up against Penn State should you meet up in the NWCA Bowl?
Oh, that's a long way from now, Scott. That's a long way from now. We got Missouri on Friday, and I think that needs our full attention. That's a good squad, a well-coached squad. We're going to them. And then Iowa State on Sunday, but we'll deal with that Sunday. So it's just a long way from today. You know, I know who – I mean, obviously every coach is aware of what the other teams you're chasing, and I think we are – everybody's chasing them right now. So – you're aware of it, but as far as particular matchups, I haven't given it a whole lot of thought at this point. I think our staff and Coach Smith, reminded us of that yesterday. Just needs to stay focused on the task at hand, and our task at hand this week's Missouri.
Eric, always good getting real with you. I appreciate the time in the Nike hot seat today. Missouri, Iowa State, Edinburgh, Kent State, got so much wrestling left to do, and so little time to do it in.
We do.
An exciting year for us to focus in on the Cowboys. Good job out of you today, man. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, Scott. Thank you.
I mean, Eric brings up a good point. Can we consider these upsets at 133? Anybody has a shot at this title.
Yeah, anyone does have a shot at this title. This weight class is completely open. Nathan Tomasello, I think, has a pretty good stranglehold on the number one spot. From 2 to 8 on that award stand, really could be anybody. It's going to be a real test time. Tomasello, how he wrestles Clark, see if there's any kinks in that armor at 133 pounds. Literally anybody could win. So I don't know if you want to call it an upset. On paper, it is, though.
All right, Coach, I agree. They always say it's not an upset, but on paper, it's based off of rankings. So,
to his point, though, Seth Gross is underranked, in my opinion. I've been on the record saying this multiple times. He's top 4 guy at this weight class, I think, in March. Interesting to see, with coaches, the way they spin it. It's always interesting. If you're 2 guy who loses to 8, they just, say that's we kind of expect that to be a tough match. We don't see an upset in our point. So I get where the coach is coming from.
All right, quick hits from Penn State to Iowa State. That's after the break, powered by Adidas Wrestling. We'll be back.
The war raged for generations. No amount of bravery and conviction could end the infected, unyielding rage. And with every battle, the evil grew, changed, evolved. The warriors needed nothing short of a miracle to stop the infection, and a miracle they received. Your body is at war against skin infections and diseases each time you step onto the mat. Protect yourself against the invasion. Defend Soap. Defend what you have built.
Homemade crust, fresh meats and vegetables, 100% real mozzarella. There ain't nothing like the smell of a homemade pizza when it comes out of the oven. Of course, those pine tree air fresheners smell pretty darn good too. Casey's, famous for pizza. Right now you can get a large pepperoni pizza for just $10.
Well, just weeks after his return to the Hawkeye lineup, 9th-ranked heavyweight Sam Stoll is heading back to the sidelines for the remainder of the year. The Hawks will now turn to true freshman Stephen Holloway while Stoll recovers from a torn ACL. We saw how Holloway fared against Penn State. Does Iowa have any real chance here at the Big Ten title or the national title without their top heavyweight?
I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, there's so many points that Sam Stoll could have scored if he was healthy. At St. Louis, those points on the backside are so crucial.
Huge.
bonus points are crucial. Penn State has those. They have freshmen that are scoring bonus points, and they're those freshmen are, I think, wrestlers they didn't expect to be succeeding this early. So Penn State, huge favorite right now.
All right, they may not win as a team, but Iowa has not had a national champion, if you recall, since Tony Ramos, and I think that's perhaps the bigger problem.
Well, they've had plenty of opportunities, but just haven't been able to capitalize on Saturday night. I'm not for sure what the answer is, but this year could be their opportunity to get 1 champ, 2 champ, maybe 3 champs, maybe 4. They have a lot of title contenders. Just a matter if they can put into place. They're not tired by it when it comes Saturday and get it done for Tom Brands.
In the wake of another disappointing dual meet season, Iowa State Athletic Director Jamie Pollard was asked about the future of head coach Kevin Jackson. Here's what he said. We need to get better, and it hasn't been where we'd like it to be. Now, the coaches know that, and the wrestlers know that, and in the end, if that doesn't change, then we'll have to get somebody else another shot at it. But right now, Coach Jackson is our coach, and we're behind him 100%, and we'll see where we end up. Here's KJ's response at a recent press conference.
What about you? I know, given the struggles you guys have had this season and then what Jamie had said earlier in the week.
Well, Jamie's got a job to do. He's got a job to do, but I'm more frustrated and upset because I like to perform. I like to see our athletes perform. I like to see our athletes do what they've trained to do. My stress level is of such where I rely on a higher calling than in my position or my job situation. I know that there's only one person in control, one God controlling my life, and so that's what I really hang my hat on to kind of relieve stress or anxiety because I know it's real. But at the same time, it's real. I mean, we live in this world, and so it's. I didn't see everything that Jamie said, but I seen some tweets and some things like that. He put some stuff out that the Morning Register carried from there. But I understand the situation. It's not like I'm ignorant to the fact that we're not performing very well.
Where do you go from here?
Well, you go back and you go back to work. I mean, what are you supposed to do? We got a lot of matches left. You got a lot of wrestling left in the season, and so you got some guys that have some opportunities to really qualify for the national championship and qualify or go to the Big 12 championships and win championships. So it's still a lot of matches left. We got Oklahoma next week. We go on the road to Pittsburgh and West Virginia. Oklahoma State's coming to town, and so we just got to continue to keep our head up in battle and understand that this is that you're gonna suffer some hard times, and if we can come through this thing the right way, they'll be stronger for it. So we got some different things that we plan to do with our guys to maybe connect to some of the things they aren't doing, because obviously we believe that they know all the techniques, they have all the skills, and there's just a little component missing that's costing us matches when it shouldn't.
All right, Tony, so here's the question. Will KJ's success in recruiting be enough to buy him another year?
Well, right now I'd have to say it's the only thing carrying him. Nothing this year has really gone the right way for him or his team. Injuries, maybe some bad decisions as far as redshirts go. You don't know what really what the reason is, I guess, in Ames. So those recruits, he's got to get those recruits to come in. They need to come in fast and they need to produce. So I'm not for sure. That's really the only thing he can hang his hat on right now. At this point in the season, I think any other program, it'd definitely be on the hot seat.
I mean, it's tough. I know we're both big supporters of Coach Jackson, but something has to change. We're talking about one of the most successful programs in NCAA history. Iowa State should not have to settle for mediocrity.
Yeah, it all depends on what you put your stock in here. I mean, do you want All-Americans or do you want dual wins? I know KJ doesn't put a lot of stock in dual wins, but, Pollard's looking at the fans in the stands. They want to be able to come and watch a good product. Yes, the All-Americans count as far as, on the leaderboard or in the trophy case, but those dual wins, getting people to those duels, fund the program and fund the coach. So you got to find a way to make Iowa State wrestling exciting again.
Some say attendance down some 70% at Iowa State. Well, Penn State has taken over the #1 spot in most national publications. How much of this has to do with Mark Hall, and are the Nittany Lions the top team in the country? Tony?
Mark Hall is a predicted All-American at this weight class, pulling that red shirt. Those are huge points. And this is like losing to Sam Stoll, not having those points, now getting them with Mark Hall. I think he's one of the freshmen that you can expect to be in the top top 6 easy. Pencil them in, huge points now for Nittany Lions, and that propels them up to the first place ranking, in my opinion.
I'm all in on the Nittany Lions. Mark Hall, that young man from Minnesota, a huge part of it, but they're getting contributions from guys like Gillibon, Vincenzo, McCutcheons, Nevels, and oh yeah, they got 3 Hodge candidates in the lineup too.
Yeah, Suriano too. I mean, that's a 125-pounder that's probably my favorite wrestler to watch on this team. They've got Nolf, we've got Rutherford, tons of people. I mean, we knew Suriano was going to be good. We knew Joseph was going to be good, but not this early. This team is poised for a couple of years.
All right, anything else to add, Tony?
I think that's about it.
I think that's enough because our time is up. For Tony Hager, Brad Johnson, and all of us here in Des Moines, I'm Scott Kesper. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on GWN. Have a good one, everybody.